It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Forum on Eagle Community Television. I hope you're ready to get your bike out because we're going to talk about bike trails in the city of Hays with Shane Scranton. Shane is an intern at the city manager's office here in Hays. The Forum program is brought to you by Hays Med. Again, good to have you watching. Shane, good to have you on our program today.
Thank you for having me here.
We're going to change a little bit and talk about bike trails in a minute. But how did you get involved in the city manager's office in Hays?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I met Paul a couple years ago. My academic advisor, I had an issue with my art degree, and I was kind of wanting some kind of stable job instead of being a starving artist with four kids. And so he pointed me towards Paul Brazino, assistant city manager in Hays. And I had a dinner with him, and we discussed, and he said, you know, I think you'd really be beneficial to Hays, and maybe sometime it'll open up. And well, I needed to do an internship, so I thought, well, I'm going to call Paul. And so I asked Paul if there was a position open at the city management. And he looked into it, and he talked to the city manager, and then they gave me an opportunity. And so here I am, and it's really been exciting.
We'll talk about you because we've had a chance in a couple of times in some of the arts things in the community of Hays. You've been involved with that. Is your family background from the community?
No, I'm originally from Scranton, Nebraska. That's where I've been born and raised, and evidently that's how Paul and me really hit it off, because the first thing he asked me is, where are you from? I said, well, Scranton, Nebraska. He goes, well, I'm from Wood River. So we're just 15, 20 minutes away from each other. So right away we made that connection. So.
Well, it sounds like fun, and with four kids, you have some potential bikers in the family would be my guess.
Yes, some potential, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be out there doing something, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully they won't hit anybody, but yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about bike trails, and you see that in a lot of communities, and especially those that are progressive are out there allowing a safer way to ride bikes. Not that you can't ride bikes in the community right now, but a safer way with bike lanes and a way to do that and safely and encourage it from a health standpoint as well. So what's a little bit of the history of the bike trails and how that developed in Hays?
Well, real quick, you hit something that is personal to me, because like you said, you can ride bikes now. And honestly, we haven't had bikes yet. My kids haven't. And it's because I just don't feel that comfortable with it. But with these bike lanes now, that's something that's really encouraging me now to get out there, because it gives me a safe, secure feeling that there's going to be now potential, there's a respect now. There's going to be an association between the bikes and the vehicles, and it's going to be known, instead of just you're dependent on the person being, moving over. Now it's going to be legal.
And the fact that there's markings in that, and we'll talk a little bit about some of those markings. Right. But the community was involved, and I know there were some questions early on, but some of the funding that got into play actually helped with all of this. So we're not using property taxes to fund this process.
That's right. So beginning in '95, the city of Hays really was pushing for having a bike system, like you said, like other progressive cities and towns are doing. And until recently, 2013 or 2014, the city commission approved of it, and now we're implementing that. And yes, KDOT money is involved, and I think 60% of it's funded. So it's not a burden on our shoulders. So it's something that we're all going to benefit from.
You know, the other aspect of this, and you mentioned the safety part of it, obviously, is one of those things. But when you look at it, our town is built up of a lot of college students.
Yeah.
You have schools on all different quadrants of the community, and without a safe way to do that, much like yourself, you're not going to have parents putting their kids on bikes, even in the high school level, for doing that.
It's like we've been in a growing trend to be dependent on the automobile, and like bicycles have kind of taken a backseat to that, and I think it's slowly becoming more, and I think maybe that's part of it too, is because the safety aspect. We're more about safety and concerned with that, and now because of that, because of our bike system, we're going to be more able to push that and give another alternative to the automobile and be able to grow as a progressive, moving forward kind of town, which is going to attract more people.
Well, you see that, and I know there'll be some people out watching there, but I maybe ought to do the same thing, start taking a look at what's going on, because a couple weeks ago they started putting lines down that put the lanes so you can actually see that. There's going to be signs up. I know Eber Phelps, mayor, was actually trying to paint lines. I don't know if he has future job potential there or not, but he was working on that.
Maybe it's a hint to something, maybe.
That could be. But as you see that happening, that's what motorists will notice first off, are those lanes. What are the rules that go along with the lanes?
Well, automobiles cannot drive on those lanes. So those lanes, a bike lane is going to be specific for a bike. Now there's also going to be share lanes, which is a bicycle and an automobile operate in the same lane, but the bicycle will be treated just like a vehicle. So you can't, push him out, like try to get him around. If he's in front, you have to stay behind like it was a vehicle. So it's going to be a different, it's a definite change for sure.
And what about the markings? Because that's one of the things that you'll have people that have driven on this street for 100 years and they've never had any different markings. And now what will they see marking wise? Are there signs? Are there just markings on the road itself?
Yeah, they'll be distinctive. There'll be a bicycle symbol. And it'll have arrows with it to signify a share lane or a bike lane. It'll be distinguishable. The main thing that's going to be different is getting used to that. Like you said, people are used to the paint markings as it is, but now there's going to be a change, and there's going to be more people on it. So it is going to be it's going to be a change. It is a change, but it's something that it could be I don't know. Adapted. You can learn from it.
Now, is it in some cases, I know some communities have different color of asphalt or concrete in some areas, and I know on the new building up on the north side on 41st Street, you actually have a different color for the walk lanes. Are there going to be some things like that in place, or will it mostly be the signage that's on the concrete and maybe some other signs as well?
Yeah, there's going to be the on-street marking, like the regular like white marking with the reflective tint to it, and then also there's going to be signs with the government green with the bike lane, the symbol on it. So there'll be that. And then also the City of Hayes is also going to be putting our Bike Hayes waypoint signs throughout the community too, so that people can stop and look and to see where they're at and where the other bike lanes are throughout the community.
Now, did you sign up for this at this point? I mean, you walk into what is a really fun project as an intern, and did you say, hey, I want to do that, or do you have a mission here that to get this done?
It's interesting. Like when I first came on, I didn't know all there's so much stuff that comes day in, day out. And Paul talked about this Bike Hayes and kind of taking a lead in charge of it. And it's a challenge because I never really learned how to do something like that. But it's been really a blessing. I've had Paul there to kind of help guide me there with it. And it's been a fun experience because I've been able to use my creative thinking in order to better promote Bike Hayes. But it's also a learning experience because there's some things I never thought of, pushing this forward. And so it's been a really good learning experience and a blessing also.
Well, when you look at this, and we're going to come back and talk about a cool website you have. We don't want people getting lost on the bike trail, can't find their way home, that sort of thing. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But when you look at getting this done, you mentioned that there are some rules that go along with those bike lanes. What can actually be a bicycle? Can a scooter be on those lanes, or is it only for a bicycle? What about runners? What about walkers? That type of thing.
Well, if it's specifically a bike lane, it's just for bikes. If it's a share, like on the street, it's not. No runner's going to be on it.
That's a share lane,
right?
Yeah.
But like the bike lane on the levee in 41st Street, those you can run on, walk on, and bike on. But it's just the ones on the street. We don't want people running on, of course, and it's.
That's what the sidewalks are going to be for. That
right.
So
okay.
I didn't know how
and that's
those
something
were
too
set
that
up.
people have to adjust to, because I know a lot of people do run on the streets, and where there's an actual bike lane, they can't run on that anymore. Okay. It's one of those things.
Education-wise, how are you going to educate people to this?
Well, we have our website, www.bikehays.com. We're handing out brochures. We're putting together more informational material like for our website, and it's just the beginning of a website, so we're going to be building upon that. We have YouTube videos, we have frequently asked questions, and we have backpacks, and we're going to be giving out to kids and give them.
I hear we might even get one. Brandon and I, so we might even get one.
Well, it's his birthday, so
yeah, might as well get some backpacks on there. Tell you what, we're going to come back and talk about that website because I know the City of Hayes, and I know you've worked on making that very interesting and quite engaging for somebody who wants to learn how to bike and how to get around town on the safest streets in town. Our guest is Shane Scranton. We'll be back with more and talking about bike trails and the website after this from Hayes Med.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum here on Eagle Community Television, where we're talking about the new bike trails that are all over the community. Our program is brought to you by Hayes Med, and if you have an idea or a suggestion for a future program, please let me know. My address is gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. You can also chase us down on Facebook. Check out some of our other programs as well on Facebook under ECTV Forum, and of course go to hayespost.com. You can have a history of our programs there. Our guest is Shane Scranton, who is an intern with the City of Hayes, and he's taken up the post position or the point position on the Bike of Hayes program. Tell us a little bit about the website. Then I want to talk about these cool bike bags that are here. The website first, what will it tell you when you go to the website, and what is that website?
Okay, the website is www.bikehays.com, and on it you will see, for instance, there'll be a JPEG of the brochure I have here, in case you don't get one personally. You can check it out on our website. The bike trail itself is like a Google map, so I have it all mapped out there with the different colors that are associated with it. Frequently asked questions, and then also our YouTube page, our Bike Hayes YouTube page, will have informational safety tips for bicycling. And then also a link to also other Hayes trails through the CVB is also in there.
Now, one of the things I know you talk about, there's some age limits, just because of safety. Again, safety is an important part of this process. What do you recommend? Because one, if Brandon and I have never ridden a bike before, we probably shouldn't just dive right out. You should watch that YouTube video on how to ride a bike. But if you haven't done that, how old should you be? What are you recommending for your family?
We recommend that 10 and older to be able to use the on-street marking bike lanes, just because 9 and younger, they might not be able to comprehend the traffic and automobiles, but 10 and above. But before, 9 and below, with a parent or a guardian, you can do that for sure.
So drivers should expect to see some families out on these bike trails around the community, and so be prepared when you see that. Of course, I know you also recommended this on your site about safety items you should wear.
Right. You should wear an approved helmet for sure, and then reflective gear at nights. And that's also in our brochure too. It talks about at night you should have reflectors.
Let me see one of these. Let me just see one of these. This is the brochure right here, and if you take a look at the brochure, you'll see the different colored maps that are there, different areas that you can go. What do those colors mean? Are they routes at a certain mileage, or is there a route to get from, say, the KAYS studio over to Hayes High School?
Well, they're just designated different colors just so people can understand which route they're on, and it's designated on here, as you can see.
I'll go ahead and take this, and we'll put it up later.
Yeah. Okay, and it'll tell you what's on the route. Describe what's on the route. Whether there's a park, there's a school or businesses, and then also the mileage on it also.
So you can do that. So the website has it. You can get brochures where?
Throughout the communities all over. We're putting them in Fort Hayes, some of the banks, and local businesses, and we'll be having it at the block parties.
Yeah, this is a little tattoo you can actually wear that says Bike Hayes on it, so you can have one of those and put that on. But you also have this cool looking bike bag that I know you're going to give me, right? Because it looks like, it's hard to get run over with a bright yellow thing.
Well, it also has reflectors on it too, so that will reflect
this up here. Brandon can zoom in on that, because those are the types of things you need to keep you safe. And this is also a great thing to put your other shoes in. You can put your biking shoes in.
Your wallet in, whatever you don't want to carry while you're biking.
And do that. But the idea of being safe and being healthy, because that's another part of it. Biking, Biking is one of the best exercises because it's not hard on your body, it's not hard on your joints, you can ride anywhere, and you see more and more of that happening.
Right.
This is a way to just go about that and improve not only your health, but then enjoy some of the things in our community.
Right. You know, we want people more to get outside and enjoy the beautiful community we have in Hayes, spending time with family, but also we want it to be safe, and we want to encourage that. So once people understand it's a safe environment and you know, we are doing things to protect them, they'll be more apt to want to enjoy that as they used to back years ago.
Yeah. Well, Shane, tell them what's your next job? You're intern. What do you hope to do in the future? You have this bike trail program down. Everybody, your whole family's out riding bikes.
Yeah.
Do you have any goals or things you want to do?
Graduate from college.
That's a good start, yeah.
And then, you know, find a place where I want to settle down and make a career of it. And this has helped me expand that and what I want to do.
Very good.
Yeah.
Shane, thanks for being on a program
Thank
today.
you.
Thanks for the cool bike backpack here.
Yes.
I have a bike I can use this with as well.
Are you going to be wearing that?
I will be wearing this,
Good.
just for you.
All
How's that sound? Shane Scranton has been our guest here on the Forum program on Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching. The program is brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communication, our community connected.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.